There comes a moment in every life when hesitation turns to suffocation, and a single step forward becomes the only path that keeps your identity alive. For Julius Caesar, that moment had a name: the Rubicon. A narrow river, a silent border, a line drawn not on land but in the mind. And once you cross it, the world cannot remain the same. This is the psychology of that irreversible step, and how it reshapes the one who dares to take it. Chapter 1. The Pressure Before the Leap. Before Caesar placed even one foot in the water, he stood in a storm of consequences, quiet, heavy, inescapable. If he crossed, Rome would erupt into civil war. If he retreated, his enemies would dismantle him piece by piece. Both choices carried danger, but one thing carried more: stalling. This is the first truth of irreversible decisions. The cost of waiting is almost always higher than the cost of acting. In our lives, too, the longer we hesitate, the stronger fear becomes. The longer we stay still, the weaker we grow. Caesar recognized this. He accepted that risk cannot be avoided. It can only be selected. Chapter 2. Calculated defiance, not impulse. People imagine Caesar charging forward blindly, but the reality is colder, smarter, far more disciplined. He prepared quietly. He built alliances. He secured loyalty. He shaped public opinion. He strengthened every controllable advantage before facing the ones he couldn't control. So, when he reached the river, he wasn't gambling. He was finishing what he had already begun. Lesson: irreversible actions should never be reckless, but they must be decisive. Build your base, anchor yourself, then commit without flinching. Chapter 3. The Mindset of Necessity.
At the Rubicon, Caesar wasn't chasing glory. He was avoiding extinction.
Rome had no intention of welcoming him home. The Senate feared his influence. The elites despised his rise. Enemies waited like wolves for him to return defenseless. Caesar understood a harsh but liberating principle. Sometimes the only way forward, because backward is no longer survivable. We face the same truth more often than we admit. Leaving what drains you, starting what terrifies you, cutting off what weakens you, stepping into the unknown because the known is quietly killing you. We don't always move because we feel brave. We move because staying still is destroying us. Chapter 4. Courage through commitment. When Caesar stepped into the water, something inside him locked into place, a mental point beyond doubt. He didn't look back. He didn't hesitate. He didn't dilute the moment with fear. Because once you commit fully, fear has nothing left to negotiate with. His soldiers followed, not because they were certain, but because he was. Commitment creates gravity. Hesitation dissolves it. People respond to conviction. The world aligns around certainty. Your path becomes clearer the moment your mind stops wavering. Chapter 5. The Consequence of Momentum. Crossing the Rubicon wasn't victory. It was ignition. After crossing, Caesar accelerated. He seized initiative. He moved fast while his enemies froze in disbelief. Momentum is its own kind of power. Quiet, relentless, almost unfair. Once you choose a direction, press forward. Let motion shape clarity. Let progress refine intention. Stagnation confuses you. Movement reveals you. The final principle. The Rubicon wasn't about Rome. It wasn't about politics. It wasn't even about war. It was about identity. When Caesar crossed that river, he wasn't stepping toward conflict. He was stepping toward the final version of himself. Here is the truth that matters most. Irreversible decisions are powerful because they force growth. They collapse your escape routes and compel you to become the person your future requires. Once you cross your Rubicon, you can't shrink back into old habits. You can't hide behind old excuses. You can't cling to the previous version of yourself. You must rise, because retreat is no longer an option. This is why the Rubicon matters, not as a historical event, but as a psychological transformation. Every life has a river like this, a line you've avoided, a step you've feared, a moment where everything changes the instant you choose yourself. And when that moment arrives, remember Caesar, remember the river, and remember the doctrine. The future you want begins the moment you no longer allow yourself to turn back.